Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley.
I'm Brian.
Watch out, world! The former video game industry titan Atari is partaking in a bold new adventure. Ooh. Unfortunately, it's not something you care about. It's not a current generation version of Space Invaders. Nothing fun like that. No, they're gonna start making their own cryptocurrency.
Oh, so Pac-Man was a metaphor for the blockchain all along? The pellets, the ghosts, it makes sense! I'm drawing lines.
It does not make sense. No. But Atari, which should be said, isn't actually the same video game company anymore as much as just an unholy amalgamation of lots of their old brands. It's actually, as far as I know, it's Infogrames, and they just bought the name Atari. So, because that's a thing you can do. Well, they're now joining the ranks of the blockchain boom by creating their own cryptocurrency, and don't worry, it's totally not going to be a waste of your money.
Yeah, this is definitely a weird sign of the times that we live in. Cryptocurrency is also affecting GPU card prices, even the search for alien life.
Not two things that I would have thought went together at all.
But here we are. Yeah. It's to the point where Atari is not the only old guard tech company thinking about pursuing cryptocurrency instead of, you know, what they normally do.
Right, because video games, where's the money in that? Yeah. What's really shocking, the company is now seeing a huge boost in value because of this announcement, which, judging by what they do these days, admittedly is probably the most exciting news they've had in years. Oh my god, maybe that crowdfunding that they were gonna do, the investment for the new roller coaster tycoon to bring it to Switch, everyone can pay in blockchain instead.
This feels a lot like How Do You Do, Fellow Kids. Reports of Atari's shifting priorities come from Bloomberg. Atari announced that it's taking a 15% stake in the blockchain company Infinity Networks. Together, the two will create something called the Atari Token platform, which will be used to pay for digital entertainment. What
does that even mean? Do you buy old Atari games with Atari tokens? Backed by Bitcoin? Are there loot boxes? Can you spend it in an arcade? Because that's very much what they're going for. They're like, oh, it'll be cool and retro. But like the retro arcade kids that have like grown up now want to spend all their money on tokens that don't exist.
They're like, you can use this for skee ball and get a bunch of tickets and buy an Intellivision with it.
Yeah, so let's ask Atari Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Frederick Chesnes to get some more clarity. He said of this new cryptocurrency venture, blockchain technology is poised to take a very important role in our environment and to transform, if not revolutionize, the current economic ecosystem, especially in the areas of the video game industry and online transactions.
Buzzwords. I'm surprised.
A lot of buzzwords.
I'm surprised he didn't use disrupt about 1 million times. Yeah, that was totally clear. But apparently, Atari's ambitions don't stop at mere Atari tokens. They're also creating something called, get ready, Pong tokens.
Why?
Because everyone under 50 knows what that is. They'll be using crypto casinos thanks to their just announced extension of their partnership with Paraplay, the online casino maker.
So today we learned that crypto casinos are a thing. It's basically what it sounds like, a casino based on cryptocurrency transactions instead of real cash.
And if this all sounds like nonsense, well, yeah, it kinda is. But given today's market, it's actually very profitable nonsense, and lots of companies, they're jumping on the crypto bandwagon to see some immediate valuation benefits on Wall Street, AKA money.
Money. Following the announcement, share prices for Atari SA have soared. They are reportedly up 52%, and at the highest value they've been at in almost 5 years.
More old people.
Right, so while we're all over here going, why would you do that? That's why. Yeah, investors, they love the crypto bucks and the blockchains. It's the hot new thing. And there's a pretty simple explanation for that. Obviously, a lot of it has to do with the popularization and skyrocketing value, up until recently anyway, of Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency which uses and popularized blockchain.
But Bitcoin, that's just one use of blockchain. If you don't know what blockchain is, and who could blame you? Think of it like a digital public ledger where everybody can see who's writing entries at the same time. It's also super encrypted in a way that makes it hard to mess with, and it gives ledger owners anonymity, and the ledger exists on all nodes simultaneously, meaning there's no single trusted source for the information inside of it. It's kind of like a big Wikipedia.
Well, it's like, it's decentralized, so it can't just be shut down, and it's worth whatever everyone who has it agrees it's worth.
It's faith-based.
Yeah, in Bitcoin, that ledger is a ledger of money. One very useful and popular metaphor is to imagine a blockchain like a row of safes lined up in a room. Each safe is identified with a number and also has a slot so anyone can deposit money.
Also, imagine the safes are made of super strong, unbreakable glass, allowing people to see how much money is in each safe. Opening a Bitcoin account, it's kind of the same as getting your own safe and your super secret key to it.
This is the most bizarre metaphor we've ever used.
Yeah.
Whenever someone wants to give you money, they just go to your safe, they drop it in the slot. Gets rid of the idea of banks, adds transparency, see, because it's like a see-through safe, to all transactions. Plus, since the safes are on everyone's computers, there's no single server, there's no single point of failure.
So beyond Bitcoin, blockchain has other potential interesting uses that are just starting to get explored. Things like tracking ownership of a limited physical object, voting rights, reducing tax fraud, things like that. And really, people don't know the limits that will be reached with it, speculating that it could lead to a new way to do the internet entirely.
Yeah, all those unknowns, by and large, though, means people also don't understand it, because it is, look, if you have to use a safe metaphor that also doesn't make sense to try to explain it, it's, you know, it can be a tough sell to a lot of people. Like my mom, my dad, my sister, she'd be like, what is this? I don't know and I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll just do my thing and, you know, live my best life. So yet a lot of people don't really understand it, but it's this cool new thing. So it's easy to just add blockchains to what you do as a company and then raise your company's value before anyone realizes that it doesn't mean anything if a bunch of people don't agree that it means something.
Yeah, and a whole lot of aging, desperate companies have
Atari.
Yeah, they've hopped onto the cryptocurrency craze as a result. Like Kodak, for instance. Remember?
What?
Yeah, pictures, taking pictures. They recently announced Kodak Coin. That's their own cryptocurrency that helps protect the rights of management of photographs through blockchain. So it's basically just a photo licensing portal with some cool buzzwords on it.
One buzzword on it.
Yeah, okay.
Despite that, the news of Kodak going crypto prompted a 37% jump in that company's stock. Yeah, 37%. Not everyone's been convinced it's going to be a boon for Kodak long-term, though. Investment firm Carousel Capital said in a research report that Kodak's cryptocurrency move was a last-ditch stock promotion gambit for a company hurtling towards bankruptcy.
Ouch.
So they at least know what blockchain is.
Stock analysts are mean. They just like, cut to the quick. But more bizarre than Kodak and maybe even Atari.
Really?
Was the Long Island Iced Tea Corporation, you know, that drink you get at 1:59 a.m. at the bar. Yeah, they rebranded itself in December to, wait for it, Long Island Blockchain, with a new interest in crypto and blockchain technology.
Of course they did.
Yes, and just like the other instances we talked about, their stock soared by almost 200% in the immediate aftermath. So maybe they're not as stupid as everybody thinks.
I mean, or here's the thing, it's worth what everyone agrees what it's worth.
Yeah.
So is stock.
Right. Right.
In a lot of ways, this whole new blockchain thing, it's kind of being compared to the dot-com boom of the 90s. At that time, companies just changed their names to have a .com at the end, willy-nilly, like, and investors went nuts about that as a result. This feels a lot like the same idea.
So I'm so glad I have a 401k and it's probably tied up in all this shit. Yeah, and considering Atari's current financial state, yeah, it's not too surprising that they would similarly try to leverage some buzzwords. The company doesn't really make video games anymore. They get you to pay for making them sometimes because much of their video game distribution business was purchased by Bandai Namco in 2009. Ever since they filed for bankruptcy in 2013, they've been pretty happy to try plenty of other crazy schemes to add value.
This is just the latest.
Yeah.
Last year, they tried to crowdfund a $300 Atari home console that ran on Linux and then decided to delay the system before pre-orders went live. Earlier this year, they tried to get gamers to crowdfund that Switch version of Roller Coaster Tycoon with some, it felt like kind of shady details, and this isn't making me feel any better about it.
It was weird, yeah. And when they're not doing that, they're licensing their brand name all over the place, or the brand names of their properties for really silly products like the ultra weird and totally necessary Atari hat with speakers in it, brilliantly known as the speaker hat. I
don't know why their stock didn't skyrocket based on that announcement alone.
Your annoying asshole hat.
I want one.
Yeah, me too.
So that brain trust, now turning its attention to the crypto craze. I'm sure it'll be a very sound investment.
What do you guys think of Atari shifting its focus to Bitcoin? Do you think it's a good idea?
Are you offended by them calling them tokens?
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
And for future updates on whatever wacky thing Atari does next, remember to like this video. If you're new around here, subscribe to the know.
My dad doesn't even understand this job that I do here. I've had to explain 5 times.
Well, we need to talk to you about having a job.
Okay.
Where was I?
Sorry. Because much of their video game distribute things like tracking ownership of the limited physical. People don't know what the limits that will.